AECI Plant Health, unlocking nature's potential.
Welcome to our third discussion with AECI. If you've missed the previous two, please search on YouTube on Plaas TV for AECI. We spoke to the MD Quentin Cross, and after that we also spoke about semiochemistry. Quite an interesting discussion with them. Now today we'd like to welcome McGreggor Ntuli. He'll be focusing on emerging farmers. McGregor, yes, the word emerging farmers. Who are they and how do they contribute to the bigger agriculture picture?
Thank you. Well, maybe let's start by recognizing and realizing that you get quite a number of terms that are used to define these types of farmers. They range from either emerging farmers, some people refer to them as small-scale farmers, some smallholder farmers, subsistence farmers, and so on. However, the common factor with all of them, if you take into account, you'll realize that they all have one common factor, and that is they all aspire to become fully fledged commercial farmers at some point. So for that reason, because they are all in the developing phase of becoming a fully fledged commercial farmer at some point, I preferably prefer to use the term developing farmers. So I use an umbrella term called developing farmers because they are all farmers who are developing and aspire to become commercial farmers at some point. And the second part of your question as to what role do they play in the bigger agricultural space. Look, they play all sorts of roles that any other business would play. They play a role in job security, they offer jobs. They play economical roles, especially to the local economies, in a sense where they make sure that food supply is there, and they also support local input suppliers as well. So they do play whatever meaningful role that any other business would be playing.
So what are the benefits or importance of serving such farmers?
Look, when you serve developing farmers, I see it as an investment in the future. So when you invest in them, you're investing in making sure that the industry is able to continue to deliver whatever it's supposed to be delivering in future. So that's why it's important to nurture these farmers and work with them step by step, every step of the way, to ensure that the future, gets to be secured in terms of agricultural supplies. And when we speak of agricultural supplies, we're speaking of both foodstuffs and non-food items, the raw agricultural supplies, which could include things like leather, wool, cotton, and so on.
And how do you at AECI Plant Health serve these people?
We've got a couple of ways in which we service our emerging or developing farmers. Firstly, we have direct contact and communication with them, some of whom we reach out to, some of them reach out to us, and they seek for either technical advisory services or for some of our products that we have in our product offering. Secondly, some of them, we service them through what we call the ESD support, which stands for Enterprise and Supply Development Support. Now, with that ESD program, what we do is that there are funds made available, and with these funds, we are able to grant loans to farmers. And when we grant these loans to farmers, a certain proportion of that loan will be given to them over as a grant, and then they'll only be able to pay a certain amount back. So that is entirely there, earmarked to assist them in being able to establish their businesses. So that's the ESD program. And thirdly, we also have what we call the Kula program or the Kula app. So the Kula app is a platform that we use to better support these farmers in a sense where it becomes a bit too difficult, to reach out to farmers who are based in further parts of the country. So if we can get in touch with them through the app, it makes it easier for us to be able to get in contact with them. So the Kula app and direct contact with them, and we also have our ESD program.
McGregor, did AECI Plant Health play any supporting role on emerging farmers during this time of COVID-19?
Most definitely. So what we did is that the government has issued funding to emerging farmers or developing farmers across the country. And from that funding, what happened is that they requested interested suppliers of agricultural inputs to, raise their hand and state whether you are interested in being a supplier, yes or no. And we were keen, and we played a role, and we applied to be a supplier in all 9 provinces, and we were granted the role of being able to supply. So as a supplier, it means that we were able to redeem vouchers of these beneficiaries. Okay, so these farmer beneficiaries were given vouchers each up to the value of 50,000. They visited our depots throughout the country, and we redeemed their vouchers. By redeeming their vouchers, in other words, we were able to make sure that we supply them with all the inputs that they require, and this ranges from seed, agrochemicals, fertilizers, and so on and so forth. So yes, we did play a role which I think has been very pivotal, because from the 15,000 farmers who were issued with vouchers, I think we had just under 1,000 who came to redeem their vouchers at AECI Plant Health. And with just under 1,000 of them, if they're covering, let's say, for instance, between 30 and 20 hectares each of them, you're looking at a total coverage of about 20 to 30,000 hectares that we were able to support during the COVID-19 pandemic times.
McGregor, thank you for joining us, Plaas TV.
Thank you so
time
much.
this morning.
Thanks
It was
for having
McGreggor Ntuli, and he spoke about the role of the emerging farmer and what AECI did during COVID-19 to support them, and what they are doing continuously to support emerging farmers in South Africa.
AECI Plant Health, unlocking nature's potential.